the end of World War II that we're talking about this topic, but this isn't unique because recently we passed some important legislation that had to do with justice for Holocaust victims of Nazi looted art. And fortunately, we were able to pass that through the Senate, and now it's awaiting action in the House. I guess, Rabbi Cooper, as you were testifying, the saying by, I guess it's George Santayana, that those who don't remember history are condemned to repeat it. Is that one of the reasons why you think it's so important to get to the bottom of this story?
Thank you, Senator, and thank you for your leadership on that important legislation on art, stolen art. I think it's the core component, and I think it was one of the major motivations of Simon Wiesenthal after World War II to stick to a mission impossible, really. He brought 1,100 Nazi war criminals before the bar of justice, and he told me many times, I'm doing this as a warning to future potential perpetrators. I'm doing it for the education of younger generations, that they do not repeat those terrible decisions. And tragically, we live in a world today where a lot of those lessons have been forgotten, and a lot of those horrible decisions are repeated again and again. And it's why when I was asked by Chairman Grassley, I keep coming back to the fact that we need to remember that at the core of all these genocides, not only the ideologies of hate, but also greed, economics, and we're seeing it play out today.
Mr. Barofsky, I appreciate your statement that there's no such thing as an expiration date on accountability. That's really what we're talking about here. Can you help quantify for us what we're talking about, the universe of assets that Credit Suisse had and was involved with?
That is something that will be detailed in our final report. It's a difficult task because so many documents have been lost to history. When we are reviewing documents, oftentimes it's just a single document, a single account registry card, maybe all that we have to go on to prove a relationship. But other times we do have significant detailed transactional material. And so what we'll do in the final report is that to the extent that we have those documents that list asset amounts, that will all be spelled out. I think in my testimony today, which is only a very, very small number of the total accounts, it probably totals about 30 million Swiss francs in today's currency in these sort of more limited examples. But we'll have a lot more detail and a lot more significant assets in that final report, all of which will be laid out.
Was a privilege log given to you?
No.
Well, typically in a discovery proceeding in court, the court frequently will require the party asserting the privilege to provide a log, so you don't really know the scope of what the request might produce or what they're claiming as a privilege?
I don't know about the documents that have been withheld, but they've also redacted about 3,000 pages of documents. And so I do have a sense of what the topics are, and the topics do appear to be very relevant. I list them in my written testimony. It includes information about safety deposit box from the World War II era, listing German clients, Credit Suisse's involvement in looted arts, valuables, and securities transactions, investments in credit businesses with German entities under the Nazis, correspondence between the Bergier Commission, the investigative body of the Swiss government. So it appears, just from these redacted documents, that we're talking about things that are very, very core to the heart of our investigation.
What I'm trying to understand, and Mr. Kurowski, I know that when UBS acquired Credit Suisse in 2023, you probably didn't know exactly what you were getting into with regard to this current matter. But I guess what I'm trying to understand is who owns the privilege? Is it UBS, the successor to Credit Suisse? because ordinarily privileges can be waived. And maybe I'm missing something here, but maybe Ms. Levy or somebody can
Thank
enlighten
you.
us.
Yeah, thank you, Senator. So UBS owns the privilege, and you are absolutely right that can be waived. We are put into a very.
So why doesn't UBS waive the privilege?
We don't waive the privilege on those specific documents because we have an active threat of litigation exactly on that subject matter from Simon Wiesel Center here and others.
So you're worried you might be sued? If
We
you
are
release
worried to be sued since we have received threats of that. We are in a very difficult situation. We are in between. We have embraced the review. That's why also in 2023, with the acquisition of Credit Suisse, we have rehired Mr. Barofsky, and as been mentioned, provided unfettered access to all the documents because we thought, exactly as has been said also by Rabbi Cooper, we believe that bringing to light this information is extremely important. That will help also future generation to know what has happened, to avoid this can happen again. And that is what we are all trying to do. But at the same time, if the same organization threatens us of litigation, we are put in a very difficult situation.
And who's threatening litigation? The Simon Wiesenthal Center?
That's correct.
Over your waiving the privilege
About,
and releasing those documents.
About the 1999 settlement agreement.
But it seems to me that the Simon Wiesenthal Center wants that information, and you're saying they may sue you for releasing it?
That's correct. This is why we have responded to the invitation from Judge Cornyn, and we are seeking a clarification on the scope of the settlement agreement. And then once we will have that clarification, assuming that our interpretation of the settlement agreement is the correct one, we will be more than happy to release those documents to Mr. Barofsky to complete his review.
Mr. Chairman, could I ask Rabbi Cooper just to comment on that briefly? Do you intend to sue if they release those documents that you would like to see?
You know, Senator, in 2 weeks, we're going to have the Jewish holiday of Purim. And it's the one day in our calendar year where we drink enough so we can't tell the difference between the good guys and the bad guys. All I can tell, I'm only the rabbi, I'm not, got good lawyers behind me. They've brought us before the court years ago. We're still there. We've asked them to stop many times. They won't. So I would be thrilled today, and I think everyone here would be, if the bank is ready to confirm on the record that it's not pursuing or will not pursue any legal action against the Wiesenthal Center. And so, of course, Senator, you're 100% right. If the information is released, there's no basis for litigation. We're after the truth.
Thank you.
Before Senator Whitehouse, without objection, I'd like to introduce into the record February 27th, last year's letter I sent to President Milei of Argentina. In this letter, I requested Argentina archival records relating to Nazi rat lines. I thank President Milei for his commitment to this effort. President Milei has made publicly available substantial archival documents that were previously unreleased or classified